The Utah Jazz last night absolutely pummeled the Detroit Pistons. And I don't know that I would use the word shocking, but certainly a wonderful performance out of Jarred Vanderbilt last night, led the Jazz. And yes, I know Lauri Markkanen had 38 points. But Jarred Vanderbilt, I felt like, pushed the Utah Jazz forward to this win last night. And it made me wonder as this game went on and we saw left-handed finish after left-handed finish in the paint, 2 of 4 from 3, 18 points, 13 boards, 6 dimes. Jarred Vanderbilt did it all. And the question, Jake, how did the Utah Jazz get this from Jarred Vanderbilt on a nightly basis?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just these guys being intentional about what their job is. I mean, like I was saying yesterday, and I'll continue to say it, this team gets lost in the minutia of the game. They're not focused on just simply doing their job. You know, you look at Vando, you look at Jordan Clarkson, you even look at Mike Conley. You know, and you see that when Mike is on the floor, this team is much more organized. So guys like Vando seemingly find a way to get to their left hand and make a bunch of baskets. And that's what I think this team needs more of. That's where I think Will Hardy, clearly had some conversations after the Cavaliers embarrassment. And these guys got back on the same page and started focusing on what they are supposed to be doing that allows the team to win basketball games. And again, you see the production offensively when they play good team defense like they did last night, and you get out in transition, you see 126 points. So when this team is scoring 110 points, there are issues. That there are problems. Now, I know it was the Detroit Pistons, and they're this terrible team, and everyone says they're the worst team in the league, but they've got talent. They have guys who can play. And to me, we shouldn't be sitting here discounting what happened last night at all. I think that, again, the box scores he was just reading, 18 and 13 out of Vando. That's another level higher for Vando. That's a different Vando than we've seen probably the last 5 to 7 games. And I think it's simply because he was being intentional with his actions last night. Like, hey, I need to be here to give myself the best chance. I need to be playing on the right-hand side of the floor so I can roll to my left hand. Like, I need to be playing to my strengths. And that's why I think you see this level of production. It's not just some accident. It's not just randomly. It didn't just happen by happenstance. Like, this was a choice to go out and play a certain way, and you see the numbers reflected in that.
Well, and I also think there was clearly a change coming out of the Cavs game. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think when we talk about who this Utah Jazz team is, what we see from them, I think you're seeing on a nightly basis that guys are trying to figure out their role. It was really nice to see the ball flow to Lauri Markkanen last night in the second half. And I think Lauri obviously carried the Jazz last night with 38 and, really is shooting the three at a high level. And I know on this show we've talked about it, and Jazz fans, we've tweeted about it, that there's a high level of frustration amongst Jazz Nation as to why Lauri Markkanen disappears in the second half. And I think we saw last night that didn't happen, and they pulled away from the Pistons. And I know the Pistons are the Pistons, and they're going to piston, right? We get that. They're going to piston themselves.
Right.
We get that.
Right.
But the bottom line here was this was a reeling Utah Jazz team coming out of 2 losses that you can only describe as embarrassing.
No.
This Utah Jazz team needed a dominant performance in Detroit. And I think they got that. And I think when you look at Lauri Markkanen really stepping up, carrying the offensive load for this team, I think it creates other opportunities for guys like Vando, because you really have to pay attention to Lauri Markkanen when he's dropping threes like that and getting to the basket. But I think the other thing that happened was that Jarred Vanderbilt showed up with a hell of a lot more energy last night. And he showed you that he actually has offensive game in the paint, where he has touch with that left hand, that little baby hook. He has the ability to go up and fight for rebounds consistently. I thought it was nice to see him, if ugly or not, shooting threes out of the corner and making 2 of 4. What you saw in this game was a lot more cohesion and a lot more systematic offense. I think you saw a situation with the Jazz where they learned their lesson in Milwaukee and Cleveland. If you're not going to run offensive sets, you're not going to score many points.
Facts.
And what we saw in Detroit last night was a Utah Jazz team that ran sets with Mike Conley getting the offense, running screen roll with Lauri Markkanen. They double Mike. He kicks it to Lauri, who hits a 3 at the elbow. Like, those are big, important things for a young, developing Jazz team, because they need to have that systematic feel to their offense, Jake. Because if you don't have that systematic feel, you're going to lose more games than you're going to win.
Yeah, I just think it doesn't. If you're not playing your system, you don't have structure. You don't know. I mean, literally, it's just like you're going down to the offensive end. You're standing in the natural spots that you would on any basketball floor, whether you're playing at LA Fitness or you're playing at the Viv, and you're just hoping for the best. And the problem is, against really good teams in the league, they're going to eat you alive in that situation. Whereas if you can run sets and be in your structure and play to your strengths, you're going to give yourself a much better chance. And I think that Will Hardy, deserves some credit here. Like I had a lot of concerns yesterday in the show about that Cavalier game and really the Bucks game. Like, this team just looked lost, man. This team didn't seem to have like any sort of drive or want to or like desire. And last night that obviously changed. They bounced back last night. But I think this word of consistency is the one that still rings true for this team. Whether it was at the beginning of the year when you won 10 in a row or it was at, the middle of the year where we are now. Like, I think, the Jazz have to be more consistent. And that's going to be difficult when you're playing with younger guys. It just is. That's the nature of the beast. So
yeah, totally.
That's why I say, like, even Lauri, like, I know he's got 38 last night, but what have you done for me lately type deal, right? Like, we're going to sit here today and talk about how the guy has 38 tonight. What is he going to do tomorrow? What is, I need to see, 25 a night out of Lauri for the next month. Like, that's what I would expect out of Lauri Markkanen, but it's going to take him being thoughtful and intentional about going and getting the ball. Like, hey, I'm Lauri Markkanen. I'm the best scorer on the team. Give me the ball.
Well, I'm curious. Do you guys also believe that, and I would love to see this in the comments section, do you guys believe that Lauri Markkanen is a number one option? I mean, 38 points last night. That's awfully impressive. And I'm curious if you guys think that he's a number one option. Let's get your comments in here. Eric in Raleigh says, hashtag giant failure. How about this Carlos Correa story?
Dude.
Unbelievable that Carlos Correa is absolutely, crushed the San Francisco Giants here. If you did not hear, shortstop Carlos Correa is now third baseman Carlos Correa, who signed a massive $315 million contract with the New York Mets overnight after he had agreed to terms on a deal with the Giants. He goes to the Giants, takes a physical. The Giants didn't like something they saw, which allowed Correa to go back to the Mets, which frankly is where I thought he would be all along.
Right.
Man, the San Francisco Giants are getting crushed. Unbelievable. Neville93, good morning to you. He says, Monty, how the heck are you? I'm pretty good.
Yeah, 2 days to go here.
Let's have a good Wednesday. Go Jazz. And he says, yes, I think Lauri Markkanen could be a number one. Awesome. What's up, Giggity? Good to see you. Anton says, Will Hardy definitely had a chat with JC after the Cavs game.
Well,
I think you're looking at a guy in Jordan Clarkson who I think you're going to have to consistently hit the reset button on. I think he just plays with that mercurial, like, free spirit, like, off the cuff style, that freestyle basketball that so many people love. But when you're trying to win close games, it kills you. And I don't disagree that Will Hardy probably had a pretty good conversation with Jordan Clarkson coming out of that Milwaukee-Cleveland series.
It's okay, man.
Because he was a much better player last night, frankly. But Jordan, even in the win last night, I think he still has moments where the ball's not going in the hole.
I know you guys are going to find this hard to believe. Jordan still had 2 turnovers last night.
Yeah, but he played much more.
Better.
The word that I want to use is I feel like he played much more responsible basketball last night.
Yeah, he was playing within the system in a sense. Like, Jordan Clarkson, to your point, is that guy where he just plays free-flowing basketball. But his challenge as a player is never going to be, hey, how much can I score, or how far can my ability take me? Like, he can score with the best of them in the league. The problem is you got to be able to keep that under control.
Yeah.
And you got to rein that back in sometimes. And the problem is last year and really most of his career, he's been a 6-man. So his job has just simply been play 8 to 10 minute spurts and get buckets. That's his job. That's what he's been doing. And so now when you get put into a starting lineup, a starting 5 most nights this year, you're being asked to run offense and run sets and play within your system and be responsible. So yeah, I think responsible basketball is a great way to put it, but I also think he has a responsibility not just to play the right basketball, but to lead the young guys. You have to be able to set an example. So to me, he did better last night. But again, this word, consistency. What am I going to get tomorrow night out of Jordan Clarkson?
Absolutely. But I think you asked that now about Jarred. I think you asked that about Lauri.
Yeah.
I think those are the ails of a young team.
You're asking that of Walker Kessler.
I'm still telling you, I think Lauri Markkanen's a 2. I think he's a really good second option. And again, I'm still traumatized as a Chicago Bulls fan. I'm still traumatized about Lauri, the Chicago Bull.
Right.
Trust me, he's a number 2. Trust me when I say, oh, wow. Well, Mark Hales is in this morning. He says, good morning. Inform and entertain me.
Well,
Nah, that's not what we do on this show. Giggity says, I guess moving a trash can causes back issues.
It does. It does, actually, yes.
See, that's a Houston Astros bomb on Carlos Correa.
Yes.
They hit the trash can, the stealing. I hate Carlos Correa.
Think that's HIPAA?
I hate Jose Altuve, too. So you know what it is. It is what it is. Let's see. Brett Robbins says, I believe Lauri is a number 1 if he plays like a number 1. He's a 7-foot who can drive to the bucket when he wants to and usually does pretty well doing it, but some games he seems to be very passive. I think he's a low-key guy.
Yeah, he's a lot of times he is.
Is he ever the guy that throws down and is like, ah?
No, he's not Russell Westbrook.
No, he's not Uncle Jeff Green, please. How about Uncle Jeff?
Jeffy.
Unc Green.
The Jeffer.
Flying to the hole last night.
Yeah.
And then he dunked the basketball before he flew to the hole at home.
Is this the dagger?
Okay. Barfing Chickens, good morning to you. He says, I still know next to nothing about basketball, so don't take me serious. But from the look the media worships the dude to be, I think he will at least be good. Who do you mean? You mean
Lauri
Markkanen?
Yeah.
Brett Robbins says he needs to stay aggressive all game, not just the first half. And I think this is, see, Brett, I think that's a really good point. He's never going to be the guy that's like, hey, yo, I'm red hot, give me the ball.
Or, hey, don't take me out of the game when I've just scored 10 points in a row.
Which, Will Hardy does that. But Jordan Clarkson is going to take the ball. He's made 2 threes. He's going to come down and actually he's going to go up to the third deck and shoot a 3 just to do a heat check.
Right.
Like that's who Jordan Clarkson is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's never going to be who Lauri is. Hib, good morning to you. He says, nah, you were right the other day. Lauri's a great number 2. Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that. Kurt Myers, good morning. Is BYU football tanking for Volkswagen? I think they want Victor Wembanyama to be their next quarterback. He's in the portal, from what I understand.
Put some shoulder pads on.
Let's go. NY Monty fan, good morning. The old flamethrower got tuned up by Hardy, eh?
Yeah,
exactly.
Seriously.
Is that our new nickname?
Flame on.
Is that our new nickname for Jordan Clarkson, the old flamethrower?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, we had an interesting debate about Holly Rowe on Twitter last night. As Jake heavily sighs.
Frickin' Holly Rowe, man. Love her, but damn.
One of the tweeters made a really good point. You either got to give her far more room to stretch her legs, or you got to just end that.
Yeah.
Because I agree that her dipping in and her trying to make points, she has to try far too much to make a point on that broadcast. And the other problem is, I think Big T is so good as a color analyst. And she runs into him so often, it's just awkward.
That's right, T.
So, am I taking it by your coughing sound effects that you are not a fan of?
I'm not a Holly Rowe fan on basketball. On football, she's great. On college football specifically, I love her on field interviews, love the work she does. But I just think she tries too hard with basketball. Like, the genius of Doris Burke is that Doris understands that not talking is just as valuable as making a great point.
Is
right?
Doris Burke oddly hot?
I think, a lot of guys would
A lot of guys would go to the hole.
Yeah.
Dilly.
Drive the paint.
Yeah.
I think Doris Burke's the elite at what she does, but why is that? Because she's a full-time color commentator. Holly Rowe is this third voice. She's not a sideline reporter. She's not like the interview the coach at the half.
But I don't understand why the Jazz try to use her on the broadcast in the way that they do, because she is a sideline reporter for them, but she's like this third voice as well on the broadcast. Like,
it's
sideline
odd.
reporters don't give color commentary. Sideline reporters give you, rejoins after a break. They pitch to specials or whatever. Like they do one-off unique content, or they do, the after the game interview or whatever.
Right.
And that's how it should feel. And Holly's really good at that. But I think this dynamic that the Jazz are trying to create here it is awkward. And I have to be honest, and we're going to talk about the TV deal here in a little while, but the fact is that you can't consistently get the away feed. So we're stuck listening to this.
You can't. I can as a League Pass on DirecTV consumer.
I have League Pass on DirecTV. I have it. But what I'm saying is that for the person who has DirecTV and wants to stream and has the League Pass, if you're sitting in Salt Lake City, there are restrictions.
Okay.
There are restrictions. So
is that you stream?
Well, I want to stream. I want that ability, and that's what I think most Jazz fans want to be able to do. I don't like at home. I have DirecTV satellite service, but what I'm saying is that I think a lot of Jazz fans would like to take their wife to dinner some night and be able to have the game
an AirPod in.
Yeah, like you'd like to be able to listen to the game or watch the game, and there's just restrictions.
Yeah, that's interesting. Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll talk about that because there's huge news out of the NFL for the TV deal, and it really does play into the Jazz situation as well.
My point though was not even necessarily the TV deal, just that we're stuck listening to this awkward dynamic. Because I do agree, it doesn't really have to do with Holly as a person or a reporter. It has to do, they're asking her to do too much. That's the problem.
Neville says, I think the NBA is already taking votes for the All-Star. It is.
Yeah.
The All-Star voting opened yesterday.
Yeah.
NY Monty fan says, if they are, I need to cast some votes. We need one Jazz player in the game. Lauri Markkanen's in.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just write that down.
Yes.
NY Monty fan says, Holly Rowe needs to go.
I don't necessarily.
I don't know if she needs to go.
I think that Holly Rowe needs to be given a new set of tasks, which is, hey, be a sideline reporter. Don't do color. Be a sideline reporter.
She doesn't need to have an open mic the entire game.
Yeah, like, hey, there was a whistle. We're going to go to Holly real quick. Or, hey, we're coming back from commercial. Holly's going to bring us back in.
Hey, Jimmy Bob went to the locker room. What's the update on his groin, Holly? Like,
exactly.
And the issue is, for ESPN, Holly Rowe is excellent because that's what she does. She interviews coaches. She does color. She doesn't do color. She does sideline reporting.
Yes.
With the Jazz, she's a third broadcaster, and it's just it's awkward. It is absolutely awkward. Lauri better make it, Brett Robbins says he will. Mark Hales says, shooting from the third deck reminds me of the Jordan Bird McDonald's commercial of them playing horse. Yeah, remember Off the Wall?
Good commercial.
So retro there,
Yeah.
Mark Hales. Monty fan says she sidetracks all the time, but some of her inside stuff about players is okay. She is just okay. I don't like Doris Burke, though. You do not like Doris Burke.
We're different there, and that's okay. I like Doris Burke's work a lot, specifically as a sideline reporter. She was elite as a sideline on the court person. Like as a color commentator, she's been really good, but her heyday was as a sideline reporter.
Let's see. Mesh says Lauri is a third option on a championship team. I agree with that. I do. Brett says he's the most improved award. He has the most improved award wrapped up.
Agreed.
Pura P says Lauri is a poor man's version of Dirk Nowitzki. Ooh, that's very interesting.
I think that Lauri could be better than Dirk in his career if he keeps pushing because he's more athletic than Dirk was, but Dirk was just such an assassin.
He was an
wanted
elite
to
shooter.
Smoke, dude.
He
like
was just
Dirk,
such an elite shooter.
But I think he had the mentality, right? Like Dirk played in the Kobe era. You didn't have an option. You didn't have the choice to do what Lauri does and be passive. That wasn't an option if you wanted to be great.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Greg Romano says people still have DirecTV. Yes, I am a loyal.
Yeah, dude.
I am a loyal DirecTV customer.
NHL Center Ice, NBA, or League Pass, like, yeah.
Home plate, like all the sports
innings,
packages, everything. And it's a tax write-off. So, yeah, of course I have it. Mike Maple says, Holly seems to try too hard. It's the same with Locke. He tries too hard to be hot rod with catchphrases, and it doesn't work. I just don't have the... David Locke's a good broadcaster for 5 minutes. The thing that annoys me is he doesn't give the time and score almost ever. And I think Booner gets overshadowed because David Locke is just so hot all the time.
Yes.
So, Brett Robbins says, when they played the Pelicans, Holly straight up told me too much about Zion than I wanted to know. It seemed like stalker vibes. Well, like she's comparing Was it Walker Kessler? She was comparing Vando. She was comparing Jarred Vanderbilt to Dennis Rodman when he was a Piston. And it's like, Jarred Vanderbilt, are you serious? Like, I get it. You're on the hometown broadcast. I totally understand that. Jarred Vanderbilt is not even in the same league as Dennis Rodman. Like, it's not close. There's zero comparison. Zero comparison. And she does stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. MY Monty fan says, let's hit the like button, fellas. We're at the finish line. Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, you got to come through strong, though. You got to come through strong.
We are at, subscriber count is 8773. So at 8773, we are just 227 subscribers away from 9,000.
Right.
If we get to 9,000 in the next 11 days, what that means is we're going to take you +1 to the Utah Jazz game against the Cavs. The 4 of us will go to the game. We'll do it in a black car. We'll take you to the team store. We will buy you a sweatshirt. I would tell you, don't get a Jazz jersey yet. Get a sweatshirt. The black one with the white note or the black with the yellow, that's where I'd go. But you do as you like because it's your deal. And then we'll sit and we'll watch Donnie and the Cavs on Tuesday. I think it's January 10th.
Yeah, Donnie.
It's going to be amazing. But we got to get to 9,000 by the time that December ends. And if we do that on Tuesday, if we show up here when the show starts on Tuesday, January 2nd, Monday, January 2nd.
Sure.
I'm a mess. On Monday, January 2nd, when we get back into the studio.
Right.
If we're at 9,000 subs, we will have a winner for you.
And
very
if we're not,
plain and simple.
We won't.
Very plain and simple. Boyd Lake says, what's the update on his groin? Monty just oozes comedy. I do try. BTS Dance Studio says, Son's got a Michigan State owner, fan of Magic Johnson. Yeah, as a casual observer of the Phoenix Suns, and Devin Booker's my favorite NBA player, please do not mention the words Magic Johnson and Phoenix Suns.
Don't.
Please don't.
Don't.
That's terrible. But yeah, this Sarver thing is really interesting. Robert Sarver sells the Phoenix Suns. And by the way, did you guys see the number that Bobby Sarver got?
Yeah, good old Bobby.
Robert Sarver sold the Phoenix Suns for $4 billion. I said $4 billion. He paid $400 million.
Yeah.
He sold them for $4 billion. So let me get this right. You treated women terribly. You put livestock in your general manager's office. They destroyed it and crapped everywhere.
What are you, nuts?
You fostered an atmosphere that was a hostile work environment, sexually charged.
That's every day.
There was yelling and screaming and insulting of employees on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And you're going to walk away with billions. Even after all is said and done in the net and all that, he's walking away with billions, bro.
God bless.
Robert Sarver, for being an absolute crap machine of a human being, is going to walk away with billions of dollars as a reward for misogyny. As
And he will every single time.
As a reward for hostile work environment. As a reward for goats crapping in your general manager's office, you're getting billions. Congratulations, you're a shitbag.
That's right, T.
Here's millions of dollars. Like, that's unbelievable to me. He literally is a dumpster fire of terrible human. And we're giving him billions of dollars.
Yes.
It just seems so wrong to me.
Yeah.
That he's going to make that kind of scratch on that team. I don't know, man.
It is. Yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah, it just seems, I don't know. Eric and Raleigh says maybe Holly Road demanded to be more involved in the Jazz broadcast.
That's not up to her.
Demanded.
Yeah, like what do you like? So she's gonna demand. Hey, I demand to be on the broadcast. All right, cool. See you later.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Brett Robbins says, "Oh no, I got to sell my NBA team. What will I do?
Seriously,
you count your money. $4 billion." Kurt Myers says.
Yeah, dude.
Let's see. Mike Maple says water is wet and Monty likes a black sweater. Well, I'm wearing a Nike vest today. I'm wearing
Stop. No, stop.
What? I'm
Stop.
rubbing the vest.
That's not a good motion.
What do you?
That's not a good motion.
Let's talk about it.
A good motion.
I'm a
bro.
good listener. What do you mean? Like I'm wearing
next question.
I'm wearing a Nike vest. It's cold out today.
It is cold out, yes, but that motion that's not good.
It's motion on the ocean, bro.
Right.
Brett Robbins says, yeah, that zone is horrid. Have no clue why they run it sometimes. Why do the Jazz play zone?
Yeah, let's go into 2-3 zone on a team that can't even play man defense.
Yeah, I'm being serious. I don't understand it. I truly do not understand it. All of our NBA talk and Utah Jazz talk on the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at TryDayTrading.com. I tell you every day, get off the side hustle grind and get to TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Watch the free webinar. That's all we're asking you to do. There is no obligation. All you do is register, watch the webinar, and then make a decision. I'm telling you, though, once you watch that webinar, it will change your perspective. Do you understand what day trading is? Do you understand that every day in this country, there are people who have gone through the TryDayTrading.com program who are making thousands of dollars a day?
Facts.
Doing it full time. They've scaled up out of the best story again is, hey, I was a grocery manager, always away on Thanksgiving, always away on Christmas, missing birthdays and dance recitals. Went to Try-Day Trading, scaled it into his full-time gig. He's making thousands of dollars, and he's no longer working at the grocery store. Well, maybe that's not you. Maybe you want a side hustle. There are people every day using TryDayTrading.com in their system of day trading analytics to make hundreds of dollars a day. Day trading as a side hustle. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. All you have to do is go on the screen right there. You see it. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Go watch the free webinar. Make sure you tell me you heard about it on the Monty Show, because I'm telling you again, don't wait for 2023 to change your life. We do this thing where we do these New Year's resolutions, and don't do it, man. Change your life today. Don't wait for January 2nd. Change your life today. Don't wait for February. Do it today. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. And the best part is, as I always tell you, when you start making trades, you're not trading with your money. You're trading with TryDayTrading.com's money. And when you make money, they split the profit with you 50-50 at TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Talking NBA and Utah Jazz. Jazz win last night. 126-111 over the Detroit Pistons.
Detroit Pistons.
By the way, I was completely wrong about this game. Jazz were a 3.5-point favorite going in. I was like, you crazy.
Yeah.
They thumped Detroit. They absolutely crushed them. Jazz and the Wiz at the Viv. See the Jazz and the Wiz at the Viv.
See, this game's on NBA TV, so you'll actually be able to watch it.
Dude, they're actually on national TV. This is one of their only nationally televised games on a big platform.
What is ESPN?
Not where the Jazz play is what ESPN is.
Yeah.
They're not on ESPN. They're not on Turner. Nothing.
No.
So yeah, you get NBA TV this weekend to see this week to see the Jazz and the Wiz. Couple more because I actually do want to talk some NBA.
Yeah.
And I do want to get to this TV deal. BB says, sorry, said her name wrong. Really still hate her. Whatever happened to Matt Harpering? They just ignored that he left. No mention at all in the Jazz family. Well, that you ain't wrong about that.
Business.
Yeah, business. There was a business decision. Kurt Meyer says the Men in Black. I wear black every day. It is what it is. I've got my Kill Crew sweatshirt on underneath.
Yeah.
Best sweatshirt in the business. They don't advertise on the show, by the way. Kill Crew. Best sweatshirts in the business. No doubt. Let's see. What BTS Dance Studio says Michigan State top 10 MBA. It is. I mean, it's a great place to, go in and get an education. This guy's paying $4 billion for the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, Buddy's paying $4 billion for the Suns, and DeAndre Ayton and Monty Williams are busy punching each other in the face on the bench during the game. And eventually what's going to happen is this owner is either going to burn this thing to the ground, or he's going to ship DeAndre Ayton out and get Devin Booker some real help. By the way, Chris Paul can leave too. So let's see what he does.
I actually think Devin Booker won't be on the Suns a year from now.
Yeah, I think he's done. I think he's out.
I think they're going to completely tear that thing down.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see what this guy is. I mean, this guy that bought the Suns is a billionaire mortgage broker. He is by far and not even close the largest mortgage broker in the country. He is a Michigan State grad. Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
He is a guy that has deep connections in the sports world. Like, I mean, this is what the Suns want. I just think they're going to need a complete culture change. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Mike Maple says, you guys wearing ugly sweaters tomorrow before starting vacation?
Nah, that would be too festive, like...
BTS Dance Studio says Monty equals Jim Rome 2.0.
Sometimes.
What does that mean? I don't think our show's anything like his show.
No, sometimes with your takes, with your rants, sometimes you have a little bit of it.
Okay.
A little bit.
Let's see. Are the Jazz still talking to the Hawks? Have you heard anything?
Okay, first of all, we can't skip over the fact that you spelled herd
H-U-R-D. What is this, cow herd?
Yeah. The herd.
You know.